Hey everybody, welcome to Dan Bullman Photography. This week we're going to be talking about Kodak Portra 400. So this video is going to be very similar to the format of the last video I posted where I showed you the Lomochrome purple film. So I went out when the new government center station opened here in Boston, and I shot a roll of Kodak Portra 400, and I'll be sharing my results today. So this is Kodak Portra 400, and just to give you a little background about the film, it is a color negative film that is made by Kodak, obviously. And it's probably my favorite color film out there. I think it's a close tie with Fuji Provia 100. But as far as color negative films go, Kodak Portra is my favorite. So if you watched my show before, you probably have a sense that I really love Fuji Provia 100 and I really love slide film in general. But lately I've been shooting a lot more color negative film because it has some advantages that slide film just can't offer. The first advantage is the ISO of the film, the speed of the film. Now Kodak Portra 400 is a 400 ISO film, and most slide films are somewhere between 100 and 200. Some are even lower, like ISO 50. Fuji Velvia 50 is a 50 ISO film. So you have a little bit more light sensitivity with color negative film, and it allows you to shoot with a faster shutter speed and just gives you a little bit more flexibility with your exposure, which is something that can be really nice sometimes. Another advantage that Kodak Portra has over Fuji Provia 100 or other slide films is that there are still a lot of places where you can get it developed. Color negative film is developed by what is called the C41 process, and you can find a number of places that will process C41 film. You can find pharmacies that'll do it, although I wouldn't recommend that because they often don't give you your negatives back. But you can also find other pro labs or other places in the area that you live in that develop C41 film, which is not really the case with slide film. It's a lot harder to find places that will develop slide film, which is developed by the E6 chemical process. So this gives me a huge advantage in terms of convenience with developing the Kodak Portra film. I can drop it off at my local lab and have the film back the next day and be scanning it and picking my best images out. So that's something that I really like shooting Kodak Portra for over something like Fuji Provia. And a final advantage of Kodak Portra is that it has a much wider exposure latitude than Fuji Provia. You can overexpose or underexpose Kodak Portra a lot and still get usable images out of it. You can bring back details when you scan it or when you make a print in the darkroom. And this is really good because especially if you're just starting out shooting film or just starting out in photography in general and you don't really have a full grasp on what you need to put your settings for in any given situation, it's nice to have a little bit of leeway to make a mistake and still get a usable shot. So if Kodak Portra were a relationship, it'd be with someone who's a little bit more forgiving as a partner or as a friend, who's willing to let you make up for mistakes and still save your photos. Whereas if Fuji Provia were a relationship, it'd be a little bit more unyielding, and if you screw up, your photo's ruined. Kind of like that. I don't know. I think I'm just going to start doing these reviews entirely in metaphors. Alright, so I think that's enough preamble for now. Let's take you to Government Center and show you around.
Fenway. The destination of this train is Government Center.
Alright, so I'm here at the new Government Center station. Just opened up a couple weeks ago. It had been closed for 2 years for renovations, and we're going to be shooting some Kodak Portra 400 today. So actually I was kind of dissatisfied with the photos that I took that day. It was kind of overcast and gray, and I really just didn't feel like I could show you the full extent of what this film can do. So I'm going to show you a few other photos that I've taken with Kodak Portra 400 to really give you a sense of how it handles colors, how it really makes them pop without going way overboard like a really saturated film like Velvia. Alright, so that's it for Kodak Portra 400. Like I said, this is one of my favorite color films to shoot. I think it's pretty even between Portra and Fuji Provia 100. But as I said, Kodak Portra is just much more convenient in terms of workflow, and you get pretty similar results. So I've been shooting it a lot more, to be honest, unless I'm doing a specific project with slide film. For everyday, day-to-day stuff, I've been shooting a lot of Kodak Portra 400. But I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know what your favorite color negative or color slide film is. Just your favorite color film. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite film is. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you don't like Kodak Portra 400. So I want to hear what you guys think. Alright, so this upcoming weekend I'm going to be recording 2 videos that are going to come out over the next 2 weeks. And the first one is going to be explaining why I, as a millennial or someone who grew up with more digital photography, decided to start shooting film in my adult life. And then the second part of that is going to be the sort of dilemma I face with the cost and inconvenience of film versus the ease and sort of cheapness of digital, and the place that they both have in my life. So I will be rolling those videos out over the course of the rest of May. I've also got a couple videos on instant film that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do one about Polaroid land cameras and the recently discontinued Fuji FP100C. I'm also going to be doing a video on the Pentacon 6 medium format camera and the Polaroid SX70 instant film camera. So keep an eye on my channel. As always, please subscribe if you like these videos, and keep coming back for more content. I've got a lot more time on my hands now that I'm finishing grad school, so I'm going to be putting out a lot more content over the summer, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, if you want to see some of the photos that I've been making, follow me on Instagram. I just had a pretty great portrait session over the weekend. There was the Boston Portrait Meet here in town, and I got to meet a lot of cool photographers and people wanting to get their photos taken. So I think I had some cool images out of that. So you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is @DanBullman, and hope to see you there. Anyhow, I'll be putting out another video next week, so we'll see you then.